Hello everyone, my name is Abhishek. I have Rafe here with me. This is our special 100,000 subscribers video, and here we are going to discuss Plugin India's content strategy going forward, and we're going to take your questions.
Thanks, Abhishek. 1 lakh subscribers might not be a very good, big number today, nowadays in YouTube terms, but for a niche channel like ours, it certainly is a big achievement. And it just shows that there are so many people that are actually interested in our message of kicking the oil habit.
This is as good a time as any to point out that we don't really think of us as an automotive channel or a review channel. We are an EV advocacy channel. Our job is to spread knowledge of EVs, dispel myths about EVs, and do analysis of the EV industry in a manner you won't find anywhere else on YouTube. First, let's discuss the Plugin India show. In this show, we focus on the work being done by the EV industry and we showcase our growing EV community. We create 4 videos per month that includes the main show and 3 clip episodes. The reason we create clip episodes is because it's easier to share them. For example, we make clips of the popular I Have the Power section so that it's easier to share it with your friends and your family.
We feel that the show is helping to create awareness and also to dispel myths around EVs. And there are a couple of videos which I remember which were really interesting. The first one was about lithium ore and how lithium mining is less destructive to the environment than actually drilling for oil. Another one which was very interesting was about pollution caused by the pollution vehicles that are running around and how during the lockdown period, the pollution in the city really nosedived. And that was something really marked, which we could notice. Also, there was another episode which we did about hydrogen fuel cell cars and how Big Ice actually pitches these cars to the public so that they wait for this kind of car and they are trying to delay the advent of electric vehicles. And nor are they releasing any usable electric vehicles into the market. So guys, these were a little bit of what we thought was interesting on the show. Why don't you guys write into the comments below and tell us which episodes you thought were interesting, which we should have more of on this show.
I want to talk a little bit about the viewership for these clip shows, for the Plugin India show. We average about 10,000 views across all 4 videos, which is a bit low. But we enjoy doing them, and the people who do watch them are really knowledgeable and we learn a lot from their content.
Let me tell you all viewers that we are looking for sponsors for our show. The extra cash inflow will allow us to do a Hindi version for which there has been a lot of demand. There are many people and we realize that in India, Hindi is well spoken. We would like to cater to that demand as well. And it would help us to pay our contractors and do better videos and do more videos. So please give us your comments about this as well.
So let's talk about electric cars. With electric cars, our aim is to do real life owner stories and not just reviews. In line with that, here are some real life EV stories. 1.5 years driving an electric car, the Mahindra E2O. Back in 2015, Farah and Rafe were interviewed by Kamlesh. Rafe gave lots of real ownership facts which convinced many viewers to buy an electric car and write comments like this. This next video, Rita Nahata, 15 plus years of driving the Reva I, the E2O and the Mahindra E2O Plus piece. The video showed how a loyal electric car owner was not happy with the upgrade made by Mahindra Electric on the E2O Plus, and also how the customer-centric culture which existed at Reva Electric Car Company was replaced by a corporate culture at Mahindra Electric. We have many more such videos showcasing real-life ownership stories. I will provide a link to the playlist for these videos in the video description. Also, we are happy to do showcase videos if we can get long-term access to EVs from OEMs. If they respond positively, then you can look forward to seeing more diverse electric car content on the channel.
Thanks, Abhishek, for that insight into our electric car strategy. Now let's talk about electric scooter content on the Plugin India channel. First of all, we don't go out and showcase every scooter that hits the market. we have been very cautious about this, and we only showcase those scooters which have been established for quite some time and we know that they are good. Uh, until now, this has always been our strategy, and we don't rush into reviewing or showcasing any particular brand of scooter, because we have experienced that sometimes these companies don't work out, they are not good enough, they don't offer good customer service, and we generally wait for the companies to start localizing their components and to expand their dealership networks so that they can give better service to their consumers. We look for this to happen, and then we go ahead and showcase these scooters on our channel. What has been happening is that there are a lot of startups which are introducing new products into the market, and people are buying them, and sometimes the company is not good or not able to offer service and support, so people are getting stuck with those kind of products. And we felt that this is where the viewers need help, and so shouldn't it be Plug-in India's responsibility also to step a little bit into this field where there are all these new scooters being put into the market, and so we should give our informed opinion and help people with our experience and let them know if these scooters are really worth buying or not. So what we've done is we've started a new segment for you guys called Test Report, where we quickly test out these scooters, especially those which are less than 50 kilometers per hour top speed, and we let you all know what we think about them. We started with the Hero Dash in July, and it was very well received, I must say. So we intend to do 2 or 3 such scooters every month, that the dealer or the OEM for that scooter needs to provide us the scooter for at least 3 to 4 days. That's how long it takes us to properly test it out and give you a test report. We then have a popular Let's Ride series, which is now going to be reserved for scooters which go higher than 50 kilometers per hour top speed. Even here, we are very careful on which companies are showcased, and we will be doing a due diligence. How much manufacturing facilities they have, what amount of localization is there, what is their strategy for localization, how their dealers are expanding. And if we see potential in all of this, only then will we feature them on our channel. This is for you guys in a nutshell our scooter strategy. And do let us know in the comments below if you like this and you would like us to continue in this fashion.
So let's talk about the Plug-in India Musing Show. This is a special show that Kamlesh, the founder of Plug-in India, does every time he feels there's a topic worth discussing. Now, the Musing shows never get a lot of views, but judging by the quality of the comments, the content definitely riles you guys up. And we really enjoy seeing those informative comments that you guys post on the music videos. So, the music shows will definitely continue as and when Kamlesh feels there's a topic that he feels that the EV industry should discuss.
The next segment that we want to talk about, guys, is the EV Guru segment. Now, this is a segment where we get in depth into a certain topic about electric vehicles, and we try and bust some myths. So we hope you guys got some real truth bombs when you looked at our last episode called Atmanirbhar Bharat Electric Vehicles and China. This was something that we really felt deeply about. Another very interesting episode that we did was Tata Nexon EV. How much does it cost to charge the Tata Nexon EV? Huge savings. Now, this really showed you how much money you can save just on the basis of how much less you've paid for the fuel you filled into your pollution car, as compared to driving a Tata Nexon EV, which is completely electric. And another interesting episode which we did was about charging in apartment buildings, and how you can charge your electric vehicle and set up the charging point as well in your apartment complex as well. So we will keep creating such EV Guru episodes for you guys, and in order to inform you and throw some light on specific topics about electric vehicles.
We also want to continue making educational content such as videos featuring EV startups or showcasing unique projects like the platinum rated building in Pune or people with solar setups in their houses.
Now guys, let's move on to answering comments that have been put in our videos, and here are a few interesting comments. We got these from the I Have the Power section, and this is a specific comment from Mr. Soni. He says, as far as I am concerned, till the day that India manufactures its own battery cells, I am reluctant to buy an EV. If we have to buy EVs in order for us to be green, then the argument goes that according to scientific think tank, the transport sector accounts for only 20% of the carbon footprint. In order to make a difference, we can do some other things like what I am doing, which is 80 to 90% of my household usage is through solar, and also I cycle a lot, even though I own 3 cars and a two-wheeler. I also plant fruit trees in whatever spare land I have, etc. I try to grow my own vegetables on what space I get on my terrace. There are many things that we can do besides buying an EV. Also, we must remember that many of these channels supporting EVs here in India and abroad in YouTube, etc., are supported by China, and in the guise of going green are supporting China's economic agenda, because China controls 80% of the EV battery market from mining to manufacturing. So beware. Well, we appreciate all the good stuff that you're doing, Mr. Soni, and using a solar power system, cycling, growing your own fruits. Those are all very good things. However, you have got your statistics wrong. The research done by Terry and other organizations clearly shows that 40% of the pollution in cities is caused by private vehicles. The links are available to you in the description below. Please check them out. Another important point for you to note is about lithium mining. Lithium is not entirely obtained from China. Also, lithium cells are obtained from Korea, Japan, and the USA. India has also recently signed an MOU with Argentina for the import of lithium ore, and very soon we will see that the country is producing its own lithium cells. Electric vehicles also help in reducing carbon emissions and improve the global environment. But you are not considering one of the biggest problems that electric vehicles solve. That is the horrible air pollution in Indian cities. Indian cities are literally gas chambers. And with India's rising urban population, manufacturing and using lakhs and lakhs of pollution vehicles is actually unsustainable. Soon our cities won't be livable. Please put some more thought into this. Electric vehicles offer societal benefits to our entire country, and while pollution vehicles keep on harming India.
Mr. Soni, you have 3 cars and 1 2-wheeler, all of which are oil consuming. Are you okay sending lakhs and lakhs of rupees to OPEC countries? These countries are not friends of India. Regarding your anti-China sentiment, if you don't want to buy an EV until lithium cells are made in India, then perhaps you should also stop buying solar panels or consumer electronics like mobile phones and so on, because these industries are also heavily reliant on Chinese imports. Even the pollution vehicle industry is heavily reliant on Chinese exports. Regarding your comment that Plug in India is supported by China, I can't really talk about it. They're watching. Let's move on.
Wow, Abhishek, that's an absolutely ridiculous accusation. Plug in India could never be China supported. Look at the content we do and what we are trying to promote. As far as getting an EV today, it would really help promote a cleaner, greener system. If you postpone buying an EV, then you are playing into the big oil and big ice companies of the world. And big oil and big ice, believe you me, they are only interested in getting your hard-earned money from you. I hope this would help in clearing any doubts you might have, and you would consider ditching one of your ICE vehicles in favor of an electric vehicle. You will really love it. So our next comment is about our Bajaj Chetak Let's Ride video. The comment is by Mr. Bharat G. Niti. He says, "Dear sir, I like your video. Sir, every day I am traveling 85 kilometers up and down from my home to my office. Is that scooter worth to me? Sir, one more request, please do the mileage test video." Well, Mr. Bharat, we would wholeheartedly recommend the Bajaj Chetak. It's an awesome machine. Plug in India team has driven it, and right from the get-go, the instant torque and acceleration to the whine of the motor, the silent ride that you get compared to an ICE vehicle, it is amazing. You should get it. You said that your round trip is 85 kilometers. We would definitely recommend that you set up a charging point at your office space and maybe charge for an hour so that it will alleviate any range anxiety that you might have. Do speak to your office or HR department, and many companies these days are supporting electric mobility, so they might help out in setting up a charge point for you. The moment we get a Chetak for long enough, we will try to do a range test so that people know the real world range of this scooter, and there are many other people who will also be helped by that information.
In the EV Guru episode, What does it cost to charge your Tata Nexon EV? We got this comment from UA. So in short, our EV companies have already added a savings of 5 lakhs on fuel to the purchase price. The purchase amount is 8 lakhs, but the EV is 13 lakhs. So overall, you pay the same amount in the end. We got many such comments on the video. People were saying that the petrol version, the ALT version costs 9 lakhs, the EV version costs 14 lakhs. So therefore, our video is bad. First of all, we still feel that with the cost of fuel and maintenance, EVs win out in the end. Most people don't include these costs when thinking about the price of an EV. We agree that it would be difficult to convince someone who's buying a 9 lakh rupee petrol car to splurge 14 lakhs on an EV. But we do see thousands upon thousands of people spending 11 lakhs to 14 lakh rupees on petrol SUVs and other kinds of petrol cars. To those people, we most definitely would recommend getting the Tata Nexon EV instead. If you are in the market for, say, a Seltos automatic which costs nearly 18 lakh rupees, or a Ford EcoSport which costs nearly 12 lakh rupees, or a Hyundai Creta which costs nearly 15 lakh rupees, or even a Tata Nexon petrol AMT which costs 11 lakh rupees, just stop and ask yourself, why? Do you really need to buy these kinds of cars which are horrible for our roads and for our environment? It's so much better to get an electric vehicle like the Tata Nexon EV instead. That was the point of the video, which I think a lot of you did not understand or chose to purposely misunderstand.
So the next video that we want to talk about is our Atmanirbhar Bharat electric vehicle in China video. We've got a comment from Mr. DBD Physics. And he says, very nice and knowledgeable video. Please make one more video on this topic with additional information and details. Your language and presentation is mind-blowing. Continue it for strong and self-reliant India. Thank you very much, DBD Physics. We are very encouraged, and it's for comments like these that we actually go ahead and make videos where we know that people are getting our message.
In our Atmanirbhar Bharat, Electric Vehicles and China EV Guru episode, we got the following comments about hydrogen and China. First, from Mr. Yasir Ali, we want hydrogen vehicles, quit China lithium battery and waste. From Mr. Heen Singh, boycott Chinese products. Rafe, don't you think it's fascinating that there are so many people who are pro-hydrogen and anti-EV? We all have that one patronizing uncle who thinks he knows everything, and when you try to tell him that electrics are better for the environment, he points towards hydrogen. There are so many people like him who spread false information because they themselves have been misled by fossil fuel industry propaganda about fossil fuels and about hydrogen. Petrol heads seem to be very keen on hydrogen and seem to hate electric vehicles and batteries. Why do you think that is? I think that there are many reasons for this. For example, regarding electric cars first, when people think about EVs, they think China dependent. They also say that batteries are terrible for the environment. They talk about lithium mining, they talk about batteries being thrown in garbage dumps, and they talk about battery electric vehicles taking far too long to charge. Regarding hydrogen, people are under the illusion that hydrogen magically appears from the air.
You are spot on, Abhishek. All the reasons that you suggested may be the reason why many people are reluctant to consider electric vehicles, and they still think of hydrogen vehicles in a positive light. This, despite the fact that we don't even have a single production hydrogen powered car on the streets or in the market in India today. So here are the real facts. The myth that EVs are equal to China dependency is absolutely wrong. OEMs are now able to manufacture most of the components in India itself. The battery cells can also be got from other countries like Korea, Japan, and the United States. Please watch our Atmanirbhar Bharat video to get more information on these topics. It's unbelievable how people complain about a few kgs of lithium that is used in the electric vehicles over a 12 to 13 year period. Add to this the fact that these batteries have a second and a third life, and the minerals can be recycled. Compare that to the thousands of liters of oil that these gas guzzlers burn, not to mention the pollution caused and the fact that they have zero recyclability. and hydrogen, there are a huge amount of safety issues regarding the transportation and storage of hydrogen as a fuel. People have no idea how inefficient hydrogen really is. We spoke about this in the Plug in India show episode, and let me tell you what it is again. Here is a graphic that has been produced by Volkswagen about hydrogen. If you see, it clearly shows hydrogen fuel cells are too expensive and less efficient. Volkswagen concluded by saying everything speaks in favor of the battery and practically nothing speaks in favor of hydrogen. Daimler and Honda all have abandoned their hydrogen fuel cell car programs and they are moving towards battery electrics.
Ultimately, this hydrogen hype was created by the fossil fuel industry to suppress battery electric vehicles. I urge you, please look for genuine research online and don't fall into the fossil fuel industry's trap.
So guys, it's time to get rid of this weird hydrogen fetish that is prevalent in the world today by people who have no clue about the technology and haven't even seen a single hydrogen fuel cell powered car on the roads today. In a Hero Electric Dash test report, we got this comment from Mr. Kelio. He says, I have booked the Nexon EV, but now I am worried as I have to drive 240 kilometers once a month on the highway, and I am not sure if I will cover this range at highway speeds. Is it possible if I drive to 40 to 50, would I be able to make it as the range of the car is 312? Please help me so I can decide whether to cancel this booking or not. Well, Mr. Kelio, the first thing I would say is look into setting up a community charge point. If there is a business or some resident that you know along the highway, then approach them and see if they would be open to setting up a community charge point for yourself and others like you. While on your long ride, maybe you can stop and charge for an hour. This would give you an extra 20 to 25 kilometers of range, thus alleviating any range anxiety you might be feeling. That is exactly what the Plug in India community did. And around 2015, we were planning some long out-of-city rides, and at that time, many of the E2O owners were not able to take their cars outside the city. So we set up a charge point at Lonavala at a petrol pump called Trinetra. Today, this charge point is one of the most frequently used electric vehicle charging points in India. Also, it would be a good idea to keep checking if there is a fast charger on your route which you regularly travel. Do check the Recharge India app, the EESL Publishing, and the Tata Power app for more information if and when charge points will be available. So Mr. Kelio, you are going to be using your car outside the city for a long trip only once a month. The rest of the time you are going to be driving within city. So for this, we would definitely say go ahead and buy the Nexon EV. It's really worth it. Very soon a fast charger might become available on your route. That might make your life easier at that point in time. But for now, why do you want to buy an ICE car when most of your usage is within city and the range very well covers it?
In the EV Guru episode, what does it cost to charge your Tata Nexon EV? Mr. Srinivas Kumar asked 4 questions. The first question is, are we restricted to using this car only in cities? Can we not take it out of cities for longer trips? Not at all. We have taken our 100 and 120 kilometer E2Os on day trips out of the city many times. What you need to do is ensure that you have charging along the way. We feel that with the Nexon EV, which has a range of 250 kilometers, you can definitely go on day trips without worry. Unfortunately, you can't go on really long trips, and we agree that's definitely a limitation. But fast charging networks are rapidly being set up all over India, and we do feel that this problem will soon become a thing of the past.
Well, Mr. Srinivas, yearly maintenance charges for an electric vehicle are almost negligible. It's only after your 3rd year when your warranty is over, and if some electronic component fails like your onboard charger or your motor controller or the telematic system, then you will incur some costs for replacing those components. The battery pack has an 8-year warranty, and Tata should cover any problems with the cells being replaced or the BMS during the period of the warranty itself. So you really don't have to worry much about the battery at all. Our experience with electric vehicles, we have observed many owners of electric vehicles, including ourselves, during a 5 to 6 year period, that they have hardly incurred any expenses for maintenance of the car. A maximum of 10 to 20,000 rupees has been the estimate. So overall, in an 8-year period, as far as the battery pack is concerned and the other components also of the car are concerned, we feel that you should not face much issues with the Tata Nexon EV, and you should save a lot more money as compared to an ICE car.
The third question is, do we have enough resources and flexibility to get the battery charged when we are outside the city and we run out of charge? Okay, so here's what you need to do. Find a 15 ampere socket, the kind where you plug in a fridge or a microwave. We normally carry 20 to 40 meter long 4 square mm 3-core wire. With this equipment, you'll be able to charge literally wherever you find a plug point and where there is earthing, even if that place is a village. But most important, please plan your trips even before you set out of your house to make sure that you don't run out of charge.
The fourth question that he asks us is, more importantly, do you get the thrill and the feel of driving in both EVs and non-EVs in a similar fashion? Well, we have thousands of electric car owners that we are in touch with all over India, and from our own personal experience also, whenever we ask these electric car owners if they would switch back to an ICE car, their answer is invariably never.
Thank you for all the questions that you guys send in. And I know we couldn't get to all your questions, and it is your comments that help keep us going.
Well, Abhishek, I'd like to thank all our viewers, all our Patreon supporters, all our YouTube channel members. Thank you very much. You're the reason why we are able to produce these videos. So guys, stay safe and remember, we drive electric.
And so can you.